We are gonna make banana bread today. I have some very ripe bananas, so I thought I would make it. And my husband loves it. He usually gets mad when I make it though, because then he eats all of it. But I am pregnant with our second baby. I'm 5.5 months pregnant. I've been pregnant for the last 3 years in a row. My oldest is 12 months old. So I'm taking him down with me. So I'm making this banana bread for him. Okay, so we've washed our hands and we're ready to go. So we're gonna do half a stick of softened butter. And then with that, we're gonna do 3/4 cup of brown sugar. We're gonna let this steep. That is nice and creamy. So now we're gonna put in 2 eggs. And these are room temperature eggs. Now we're gonna do the bananas. I used to mash them in a bowl first before I put them in here, but I just kind of stopped doing that. So I just don't do that. Gross. Okay, so I did 4 bananas. The recipe actually calls for like 2 to 3, but you know, it is what it is. While that's going, I'm gonna throw this away. Do like a tablespoon of vanilla, you know, just do the vanilla with your heart. And the recipe actually does not call for cinnamon, but I usually always put cinnamon in here just because I like it. Okay, so we've got that going. Now on to the dry ingredients. So I like to just spoon the flour into the cup. I kind of think it just makes it a little bit fluffier, I guess, not so dense. I really don't know. I see a lot of people tell you to do that, so I do it. So I'm not like a chef by any means. So we're doing 2 cups of flour. So we're gonna let that mix in while I do the next one. And mix on low so the flour doesn't splash me everywhere. All right, second cup. And we're just gonna mix this on low. Had to pause for a moment. I had to pretend to eat my 12-month-old breakfast so that he would actually eat it. So he's eating now. Okay, so we have the flour mixed in. I am gonna scrape the sides. And I mean, I'm not telling you anything groundbreaking here. Like I said, I am not a chef or anything by any means. I've always loved to bake and cook. So I've always been like a baker. I've become a better cook as the years have gone by. When my husband and I first moved in together, I wasn't that good. I'm definitely much better now. But yeah, I mostly just, you know, I enjoy it. So, and my husband and I try not to eat out as much as we can. We definitely do, but we try not to. And I try to have like dinners every night, and then whatever's left over from dinner is usually his lunch for work the following day. So, you know, that's what I try to do. Okay, so we're doing a teaspoon of salt. I just kind of do that. But the recipe calls for a teaspoon of salt. And the recipe also calls for a teaspoon of baking soda. So I do that as well. Those are not perfect measurements by any means. So we're gonna mix that in. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit of ground nutmeg too, just because I'm feeling it. So we'll put that in there. My worst nightmare is like looking at this and it's actually like garlic salt. So, but no, it was ground nutmeg. Okay. So what I do actually is I keep it on high and I just slowly take it out. And I kind of think that's like the best way to get the most of it off of your, mixer thing. Alright, so I just have a regular bread container that I've actually sprayed with nonstick like butter spray. Which probably isn't the healthiest thing to do. I should probably just like rub an actual stick of butter in there, but that's just what I did. And then I actually have leftover chocolate chips. So I was just gonna sprinkle chocolate chips in like half just for my son because he really likes chocolate chips. So I'm just gonna do that. I didn't really want to put it in the batter because I just wasn't feeling it. So that's just leftovers. Okay, and so now I'm gonna put this in the oven for about 60 minutes or until like a toothpick comes out clean. I don't have a toothpick, I usually just use a knife. So that's just gonna clean up my mess and I'll show you when it's done.